on this episode of the China Chronicles. Another thing that stood out to me this week, and it's something that many people have asked me about, is Chinese relations with people of color, black people I should say. And it's something interesting that happens here in China. Hello everybody and welcome back to the Game Changers podcast, China Chronicles. This week we will be revealing our amazing journey to the Henan and Shandong provinces and what we learned during our time there. It was truly a blast, but more importantly it was truly insightful and I can't wait to share some more information with you. Our week began on Monday with a journey to the Hanan province. On our way there, we needed to take a high-speed train. We passed several iconic Beijing landmarks on our way to the train station, including the world's famous Tiananmen Square. We arrived at Beijing West train station and took a high-speed electromagnetic train to Luoyang, our first city in Hanan. Luoyang is one of the 4 ancient capitals of China and a world-famous historical and cultural city. To begin our first day in this new province, we visited the National Peony Garden to learn about the history of peonies and their culture. This historic and cultural location was as awe-inspiring as it was beautiful. The park currently has a management area of 400 acres divided into 2 gardens in the north and south, with more than 200,000 peonies planted and 1,365 peony varieties introduced from home and abroad. This preservation of natural resources emphasizes the question, is St. Lucia doing enough to preserve our flora and fauna? Next up, we visited the National Longmen Grottos. This area is world famous for the number of caves and niches it has, with diverse themes and exquisite carvings with rich connotations. There are 2,345 caves and niches, more than 2,800 inscriptions, and 110,000 statues in the Longmen Grottos. This UNESCO World Heritage Site is protected and well maintained, providing similar experiences for tourists for centuries. Our tour guide, Bob, expounded on the uniqueness of this experience.
When you visit Longmen Grottos, you can find the culture exchange, like the Chinese culture and the Greek culture, and even the culture elements from ancient Persian and from ancient India. So we know the civilization, our human civilizations cannot stand alone, but because we need to communicate with each other. We should keep in touch with each other. In doing so, we can make a better civilization.
St. Lucia also has a renowned UNESCO World Heritage Site in the Pitons. Are we doing enough to protect this natural wonder? On Tuesday, we paid a visit to the Dongfanghong Agricultural Museum and the YTO Group. The focus of this tour was to research the rise of modern agricultural machinery in China and learn about the YTO Group and the Dongfanghong China-Europe Express. We discovered that the YTO Group, an agricultural vehicle manufacturer, can currently manufacture 1 unit every 2.5 minutes, with a daily output of 200 units per single shift and an actual annual production capacity exceeding 45,000 units, positioning it at the forefront of international standards. It showcased the country's commitment not only to the development of agriculture on a farm level, but also the production of agricultural vehicles. This begs the question, what is St. Lucia doing to foster similar agricultural development? A major highlight of Tuesday's proceedings was the visit to the Luoyi ancient city scenic area. We were able to experience Hanfu styling and explore the growing Hanfu industry. We discovered how cultural tourism is thriving in this scenic historic area. We dressed up in traditional Chinese wear and became the center of attraction for many visitors. The Caribbean can and must embrace tourism to this extent. We must allow visitors not to merely come to our islands but also find ways to encourage them to embrace our culture. It was truly amazing. On Wednesday morning, We departed Luoyang for Dengfeng to visit the Shaolin Temple. We explored the temple's main grounds, which includes a pagoda forest, a monk burial grounds. The history and insight of this place was certainly awe-inspiring. The group also received a live interaction session where we learned basic kung fu moves taught by Master Xiao Long Liang, the same kung fu master who recently met YouTube sensation iShowSpeed during his visit to this part of China. We were then led to experience the moves and the overall mastery of Shaolin monks who put their tradition and art form on display. Master Liang spoke to the media about the importance of this martial art following the display, ably assisted in translation by our center-appointed assistant, Mariana.
这个抱歉，我用中文回答。因为咱们中国呢有一句话叫平平淡淡才是真，但其实在，每个人的生活当中呢，并不是每天都有很多的武力或者很多的暴力，更多的是平常的生活。那武术，中国武术，它就来源于平常的生活，但是武力呢，只是武术的一种表现形式。那可能作为电影来说，可能有更多的吸引力。作为武力，作为表现也是有更多的吸引力。但是呢，武术更多的是讲究止戈为武，以武会友。你看中国文字那个武术的武字，它是有一个枕戈待旦的戈，兵戈相见的戈，下边是一个止。哎，对，这个字呢，其实武术的武字，它就是一个兵戈的戈，一个止，意思就是止戈为武。所以说我们在抱拳礼的时候，左为尊，和为对。左掌压右拳，代表是和平永远是要放在第一位。但是如果受到欺辱、受到欺压的话，那如果没有和平的话，我们有武力；但是有和平的话，我们尽量还是选择用和平的方式来和每一位朋友来沟通，大家都是好朋友，这才是武术的终极目的，而不是打打杀杀，我是第一，或者是你是第一，并不是这样。
Firstly, is where the wushu come from? The Shaolin Kung Fu come from is from the daily life of the people. So the daily life, there is no more very there's not of wars in daily life. Absolutely not. So the daily life, the people, the peace is more important. So it is the first reason. And the second reason is that in the movies, the force is more attractive. So this is why to attractive in the movies. And thirdly, he talks about the character. The meaning in Chinese is in English is force. The character. It's a combination of the one word of stop and one word of the fighting. So the most important thing for the wushu is to stop fighting. Yeah. These are the most three reasons, the most important.
On Wednesday afternoon, we visited the BYD manufacturing factory to learn how China is leading in new energy vehicles and battery cell production. At this factory, it takes 1 hour to produce 45 vehicles of different makes and models. In 2023, the total production of vehicles exceeded 200,000 units with an output value of 33.5 billion yuan. In 2024, the total production achieved double growth, over 550,000 units. Chinese imports are a growing market in islands like Trinidad and Tobago and Barbados. While China is not in the top 3 in terms of value in St. Lucia, it is a significant supplier by shipment volume. Could the island soon see further imports, or could the tariffs imposed by the United States on China stunt this growth? On Thursday morning, we visited the Madu village and the Yellow River Ecological Corridor. During our time, we toured the Madu village and met with local staff to learn about rural development in this district. We were able to see a live demonstration of traditional crafts and take in a hands-on heritage experience while embracing the full history of the area. This village now has many of the amenities of a full-fledged city, bringing an urban feel to the picturesque rural area. Such a drive showcases China's commitment to improving the lives of all its citizens, regardless of where they reside. This is a model that most certainly can be followed in smaller developing states. On Thursday afternoon, we paid a visit to the Hanan Museum, where we explored some of China's oldest relics and dove into the rich history of Chinese civilization through its cultural relics. The museum truly showcases China's commitment to preserving its past and learning from it for the future. Friday took our group to the Shandong province. Our first stop was Khufu, where we visited the Kong family mansion and the Confucius Temple. The city is the hometown of the world-renowned teacher Confucius. The ancient temple and mansion place rest on the actual residence of Confucius, and his values and teachings still resonate with those who keep his legacy alive. We then participated in the Friendly Shandong, Remarkable Shandong exhibition and CMG Science and Technology Innovation exhibition, which showcased China's innovation and technological growth. Later, the 4th China Media Group Forum was hosted, where journalists from around the world gathered to discuss and listen to pertinent issues facing the global media landscape. Held under the theme Exchange Mutual Learning Technology Empowerment, the Power of Civilization in Transformation and Development, the forum was graced by global storytellers from 95 countries, with some of the most prominent of these giving speeches which focused largely on how to deal with the distribution of information in this AI-affected age. Now for this week's key takeaways. And among the key takeaways was the efficiency of Chinese workmen. This week, obviously, we would have toured multiple factories, and in both factories, we saw how studious and how careful these Chinese workmen were and how detailed focused they were. They were really focused on their craft. And one of the key standouts was how quiet those factories were. I mean, a lot was going on in those factories. They were very, very busy, but they were still very quiet. And you could tell that these Chinese workmen really care about their craft, and they focus on developing what they have to do rather than, just engaging in some idle talk, which we often see, sadly, in Caribbean workplaces. Another thing that stood out to me this week, and it's something that many people have asked me about, is Chinese relations with people of color, black people, I should say. And it's something interesting that happens here in China. So there is apparent fascination with black people and black culture here. You would randomly get pulled over to take photos with some of the Chinese people. And at first, it can come across as strange, maybe even rude at first. But then, based on my research, I realized that they don't intend to be rude. Let's put it this way. They see black people as unique, as, I guess, something exotic, and they really want to share you with the world, or they want to take photos with you because they really enjoy that you are visiting China. China is really a homogeneous country with most of the people around looking similar, talking similar, and it is really rare to see black people around. It is rare, in particular in some of the provinces, in the more rural provinces where they are, you could probably count on one hand the number of black people that are around. So it is pretty interesting. On the night where we dressed up, we could really see that. I took a lot of photos with random people that I didn't know. And again, at first, it could come across as strange when you come from a Western mindset. But the reality is that people over here see black people as exotic and a novelty and would like to post them online. So this is something that you need to prepare for if you are a black person watching this before you come here, because it will happen to you most likely. They will want to take photos with you. They will want to share you with their friends, and it will come across as strange for some people. It might come across as rude, but I trust me, it is not rude in their culture. Within their culture, it is not offensive to take photos of people. Something else that stood out to me this week was the pride that the Chinese take in their documentation. Chinese history extends for over thousands of years, and these people really care about keeping their history and legacies alive. We saw that in the multiple museums we went to. We also saw that at the grottos, where they take care of this area for thousands of years. All these Buddha statues are amazing, well taken care of. Some of them still have the coloring in there, and that has been there for hundreds, if not thousands of years in some cases. And that really stood out to me. I really liked how they care about history. Like I've said on this podcast multiple times, I am a lover of history because if we understand our past, then we understand our future. And given the fact that China is really embracing its past, I can understand why they are so advanced, because they've learned the lessons from teachers like Confucius. They've learned their lessons from the Buddha and all of those ancient teachers, and they are utilizing those lessons learned in their daily lives now, and this is why they are advancing that way. And that's something that we really need to take on as Caribbean people, as people in general. We need not to forget where we came from so we can have a better understanding of where we're going. So that is very important, and that is something that really stood out to me this week. Wow, what a tremendous week. If you have made it this far in the video, and to thank you so much for coming on, and thank you for your love and support. Remember to like and subscribe and share our content with individuals from all around the world. This really helps share our message and really helps Game Changers expand. Anyhow, this is Quinn St again signing off and reminding you to stay hungry, and I'll see you next time.